Good morning. I hope you all are doing well. Again, my name is Beloved, and as I mentioned, I am going to be going through the Everyday Miracle cards that are the lessons from A Course in Miracles. Oh, you can't see, but a lesson from A Course in Miracles. So today, I just grabbed a random card. I'm going to read it and um, give you my thoughts on it, how it works out for me. This card says, God's will for me is perfect happiness. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Today I wake with joy, expecting but the happy things of God to come to me. I have to say that God's will for me is perfect happiness or bliss. I've learned that bliss comes from a wonderful state of detachment. And God's will for us is to be detached from the worldly things. I know it sounds like preachy, but the worldly things is, I'm going to group it all into one bucket and say, all of your cares, all of your needs are met. You could be homeless and still be well. God has provided all of our needs. Now, have we as man put in rules and such to hinder man from being able to feed himself because it'll be against a certain regulation? Yes, but God has provided all of our needs. And if you're listening to my voice, then your needs have still been provided because you're breathing and you're here. Regardless of all that you think is wrong, you are actually right here, right now, listening to me. You have time in all of the chaos that you think is going on in your life right now to stop and listen to a YouTube video or to play an app on your phone. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Cast your cares upon Him. Today I wake with joy, expecting but the happy things of God to come to me. I do not know what they mean by the happy things of God to come to me. Today I wake with joy. That is true for me. Eh, I have no expectations for today, but the happy things of God to come to me, I don't know. I think that that statement right there, you can might be misleading. If you can walk with the detached knowing that everything is well, regardless of how the day goes, and to know that regardless how the day goes, that God did not fail you, you will be a very happy person if you knew who you were in God. Not what others stood in front of you to tell you, but what you knew within yourself. I heard the guru say, when people say, I want to know who I am, and then he said, isn't it good enough to just know who you're not? So, what does that mean? When you're going through things, you believe you're going through them, but it's all about how you're perceiving the experience and how you're responding to the experience. So much of our vexation happens in our mind, so much carrying of the past into the now, and so much projecting the past into the future. Why would you project bondage into the future that you broke free from in the past? Why do you envision it there in the future? When you do that, you give it power. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I'm going to change it. It's the perfect peace, but it's not going to be the peace. You're if you're looking externally for the peace to happen, the volcano is still a volcano. These clouds you see floating on either side of this picture, they're like thoughts that come through the mind, all kinds. Happy ones, sad ones, glad ones, mad ones, tricky ones, all coming through. Just all the 1,001 possibilities coming through. When you grab onto those, that's when you lose it. That's when you lose your peace. You've allowed something to come from somewhere and you grabbed it and held on to it like a balloon floating through the sky instead of being detached from it and just letting it come through and go. You've grabbed so many balloons from the sky that you're wrapped up in all the 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 strings. You have them all wrapped up on you now because you've attached yourself to so many, whether it be religious, societal, familial, the way your people think, all of that ties that bind you. So God's will is your perfect peace and your acknowledgement, your revelation that God is in you and with you, and you are of Him. How can how can you go wrong except you lie to yourself? or accept the lies also that come through like clouds. You grab onto those too. Thank you for listening today. I really appreciate you. Um, I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Namaste.